Welcome to Missouri Liberty Alliance. Today is Saturday, July 3rd, 2021. Hey gang, slightly different environment. Two people you probably already know are joining us today. This is Jimmy D.
Hi guys.
From up in the St. Louis area. Liberty Revolutionary, also known as Kaleb, from the Kansas City area. And wanted to let you guys know, we're sorry for not putting out any content recently, but we are working on Missouri Liberty Alliance. Actually, a meeting of the minds is taking place right now. And I want you guys to know that we are working on this, and there's really big things coming here real soon. And we're not ready for announcements yet, but we will be soon. So I'm glad you're hanging with us. So basically, we want to show you what we were doing. You know, basically, we'll throw in a few clips here so you guys can see the kind of activities we were involved in. Our own little 4th of July. So hopefully you guys enjoy it. And, you know, welcome to you guys. It's great having you here.
Hey, well, thanks for having us up here, Patrick. The thing of it is, there's so much to be done.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's like overwhelming. So unless we get these personal face-to-face meetings, things don't get done the way we'd like them to get done. So here we are, working, slaving away for you.
Don't worry, guys. We got you covered. So we're not sleeping at the switch here.
Oh, no, not at all.
So, you know, Kansas City representation,
Yeah.
St. Louis
Well,
representation.
technically Pleasant Hill.
Pleasant Hill, well, kind of in the Kansas City area.
South of Lee Summit.
So, yeah, we got a lot of folks in Missouri here that are excited about what we're going to be doing with the Liberty Alliance, us included, of course. So, like I said, it's important that you kind of keep tuned here and watch for announcements on things that we're working on. But yeah, the work goes on. The lack of videos is because the work is going on right now, but videos will be coming again soon. So a couple of things. First of all, you guys know about the Discord. We actually have a Discord. However, I've not been able to get on for the same reason we haven't done videos. However, that will resume again shortly. I'll put a link to Facebook as well. We have a Facebook group, but once again, there's a little bit of a lack of activity once again because, you know, we've been working on a few other things right now. But it's all, we're actually starting to spread our wings a little bit. Twitter will be coming very shortly. Like I said, big announcements on other things that we're working on right now as we talk. So we hope that you stay with us. And in fact, we're honored that you even, you know, have tuned into the video today. So, do you guys have anything else you want to say to the folks out there?
Nothing more than, I think this stuff is going to be really exciting for you guys. We've got some really big ideas. No one else that we know of in the country is really doing what we're going to attempt to do for the state of Missouri. And so hang in there. You're either going to think we're crazy or we're geniuses, one of the two.
maybe a smidgen of both.
Maybe a smidgen
Yeah,
of
probably
both.
a little bit of both.
But it's all for the benefit of the people. Getting back to the Constitution, the way things used to be. Like I said, stay tuned. You'll see.
Yep.
Oh, God.
Website creation. I already told you guys. We'll be starting to work on that this coming up week, but I don't want to give you promises on when it'll be up and running. It'll be soon though. So actually work on that begins this coming up week. But first and foremost, above all else, I hope you guys have a wonderful Independence Day. You know, let's talk about Independence Day for a quick second here and what it's all about. The Declaration of Independence was really about our decree. We're getting a divorce from Britain, from the tyrant king. And I think that's something that we need to remember in this day and age with all the things going on that I don't want to talk about, actually, because YouTube is very sensitive about these things. But there's a lot of tyrannical stuff going on in our country right now. And, you know, there's things each and every one of us can do in our lives to separate ourselves from that form of tyranny. I think you guys know what I'm talking about. So not only that, but you know, you have Joe Biden saying interesting things, such as if people decide their government's too tyrannical and they want to do something about it, you better think twice because the government's going to use F-15s and nuclear weapons. When you have stuff like that, and by the way, maybe he intended it as a joke, But, maybe we'd be better off actually asking Joe Biden if he even remembered saying that in the first place. We have a lot of problems in this country. But the fact of the matter is, we have to remember what Independence Day was all about. It's not about fireworks, gang. That has nothing to do with Independence Day. What is fireworks all about? Is that to commemorate the battles that we had against the British?
Yeah,
The booms of the cannons?
The booms and the rockets' red glare and the things of that nature, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that was 1812 though. War of
Well,
1812. But the reference of that.
Yes,
manner.
it's supposed to be battle stuff, bang, 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 flashes of this, flashes of that, which is fine, but fireworks is just fireworks, and tyranny's another thing entirely, and unfortunately, these days, it seems that it runs rampant, and hopefully, we'll be able to curtail some of that stuff with some of the projects we got coming up here, so.
Go ahead.
I was going to say again, with the signing of the Declaration of Independence, I forget who made the quote, but it talks about revolution not being the war itself, but the change in the hearts and the minds of the people towards the mindset of liberty. And that's something that the basis of the 4th of July and the Independence Day is about. Sadly, in their time, what they had to deal with was it resulted in that. But we can resolve what is going on in this country through peaceful means, in the most peaceful means possible.
Absolutely.
Through the 10th Amendment of the Constitution, through the states redeclaring their own sovereignty.
But the people of those states need to stand up for those rights and exercise those rights when they actually have them. That's an important thing. Michael Bolton at the 10th Amendment Center talks about this all the time. Good point.
Re-familiarize yourself. Unfortunately, the vast majority of the population has been lulled into, I don't need to worry about that, I voted for Joe Schmo, and he seemed okay on TV for the 2-second ad that I saw him, so I voted for him. But it requires a much more intimate involvement than that to regain these things, and a relearning, if you will, of just what kind of power the Constitution gives you.
In fact, in Federalist Papers, I think it's 45 or 46, but it's cited in both. Voting the bums out is not the correct response to an unconstitutional act. The correct response is to lobby your states to defy the federal act and not to enforce it. Make it almost impossible for the federal government to enforce it by not providing aid.
Yep. That's what anti-commandeering doctrine is all about, which is what SEPA was based on. Marijuana being legalized in states across the United States, it's based on this. Immigration, actually in California, where they have these sanctuary cities, is based on, and by the way, it's completely legal. If California wants to do sanctuary cities for illegal immigration, there's really nothing the federal government can do but come in themselves and expend their resources to enforce their laws in a state where they're not getting assistance or help. So, guys, when we're in a country now where actually there's proposed legislation in Congress to call libertarians terrorists, let's talk about libertarians for a second. Let's talk about what the fundamental belief is of the average libertarian, or someone who identifies as being a libertarian. Number one, property rights. My property, basically I don't want to pay taxes on it because then I don't own my property. Actually, the county or the city or the state, whoever owns my property, I'm just leasing it. Libertarians aren't real happy about that. They want to own their property. What's another thing libertarians are known for? Using legislation to actually enforce the rights that we have. So, as opposed to the federal government's way is using legislation to remove rights that we have. So we have to play within that framework, within
All
that
in the
construct.
name of safety, public
Safety. So apparently people who are interested, I'll stop here, but there's one more attribute I know of libertarians that I know, is they tend to know the Constitution and their rights better than people who associate with the right-left paradigm, Republicans and Democrats. So let's recap. The federal government has, I believe it was a Senate bill, It hasn't gone through, it hasn't been passed by law, so I'm not saying that. But when they actually put on paper and try and get a bill through the process in your federal government legislature that says that libertarians are terrorists, after what I described to you really defines most libertarians, as opposed to the 1950s when the federal government thought communism was a bad idea. Apparently they don't want to talk isn't being a bad idea anymore. They just want people who know their rights, know the Constitution, want property rights. Those are the people that are the terrorists of today's day and age. So, once again, if you know your Constitution, I guess you're a terrorist now as far as some people in Congress are concerned. But this is what Independence Day is all about. We need to redefine what Independence Day means, gang. It's not about fireworks.
Not about hot dogs.
It's not about hot
It's not
dogs.
even about war.
It's not even about war, technically.
Yeah.
It's about
It's
saying,
about declaring your own liberty. It's about the people declaring their liberty and living their lives as freely as possible.
and in Missouri, we're doing it, gang. We're doing it. This is what this brand new organization that we're starting right now, it's what it's all about. It's about Missouri declaring its independence in every way that it can through the Constitution of the United States, through the 10 Amendments, to declare our independence from what we perceive as tyranny at the federal level. So every state should be doing this. Every state should be working on an organization such as this, getting like-minded people together, working with your state legislatures to say, hey, federal government, that bill that you just passed into law is a little bit too tyrannical for us. We're not going to enforce it here. We're not going to do it. Anti-commandeering doctrine. That's how you do it, gang. So I know that there are, a couple of volunteerists and constitutionalists that would disagree with me on this, but remember now, we're working within the construct and the framework that they use to take away your rights. We're using the same thing. We're using the same tools against them. Anti-commandeering doctrine is how you do it, gang. So, I'm sorry, I feel like I...
No, you're good.
Rev
No,
on.
you're good.
Do you guys...
As you all might understand here, he's pretty passionate about what he's speaking right now. And, well, to tell you the truth, all of us are. We saw a great success with the passage of SEPA. And like he's explained on a previous video, I believe, we started this up originally to make sure that the liberals didn't chop our SEPA down, take it away from us, do whatever they're going to attempt to do. And we all know they're going to attempt to mess with it. Then out of that was born the idea, we need to take this further. There's so many other areas where, I don't know about you guys, but I feel like there's a new order coming down from Adolf Biden every day. I mean, it's just ridiculous, especially those of you who are in the gun realm. It's just, I don't know. I don't have words to describe it. It's that bad. Like just makes me want to fight back, and this is the best way that I can figure to fight back. So here I am.
Yeah. Do you have any thoughts?
I had a thought a minute ago and I lost it.
Gotcha. Okay,
That's because I dazzled him with my brilliance.
it is.
No, there was something I was thinking. I completely lost it. Oh God, I hate that. Yeah.
Well, to our fellow Missourians, happy Independence Day. To everyone out there in the United States, happy Independence Day. Please, please think about what Independence Day actually means. Take a close look at what your federal government is doing, and in some cases, what your state's doing, and figure out what Independence Day means to you. Do you want to accept what they're doing to you by literally curtailing your rights, snipping around the edges of your rights constantly until there's nothing left to snip away? Is it worth it when we give up our freedom for perceived safety? Is it worth it? Because believe it or not, there are people, literally your progeny, coming behind you that won't have that freedom anymore. Is it worth it to give it up for future generations for your personal perception of safety? We have to think about that the Founding Fathers literally warned about this. So we have to literally take account for this, I think on an individual basis, certainly a state-by-state basis, to determine where we want the federal government, their place to be in our lives. And frankly, it should be so minimum that you don't even feel it. That's the way it was set up. It's very different now. So remember what Independence Day is for.
Also, on top of everything else in terms of legislation in this organization, just also educational things regarding what you can do as an individual, in your own life to help just live more free, whether that be food freedom and issues of that nature. That will be an important thing in this organization.
It will be.
And I'd like to finish up with a nice little quote.
Sure, absolutely. Go ahead and finish this.
This is a quote from John Dickinson from 1764. All artful rulers who strive to extend their power beyond its just limits endeavor to give their acts as much semblance of legality as possible. Those who succeed him venture to go a little further, for each new act is strengthened by a former. That which growing old becomes an example itself, thus supporting fresh acts of usurpation.
All right.
Look at the history of the last century, and then look at what's happened and how many times it chipped little by little, and it supported every new act.
Taken. We can take a little more. We can take a little more. Nobody's screaming yet. We'll take a little more. It's time to start screaming, guys. That's just my theory on it.
Get you make your voices loud, lobby your legislatures, both for this organization in Missouri and other states around. You need to do the same. It's time for the states and the people to take back their individual liberty, their sovereign authority as states and people, as directed under the 10th Amendment of the Constitution.
Yep, far past time for that. But that's our message for today. You guys, thank you for joining us. Please stay with us. Important stuff coming soon. Big announcements coming soon. And when I say coming soon, inside of a month. So don't worry about that. We're working on this thing. Thank you again.
They should know that we're blessed in the fact that we're actually out of session now. So that's why
Yeah, that's correct.
we're afforded some time to organize this organization, if you will. And then so when the representatives and the senators get back together again for the next session, then we'll be at a point where we can go up there and start lobbying again, talking to these people, trying to get a few things, more libertarian views, get support for them, get them passed, and
start calling out those who don't want to play.
Oh, absolutely.
Don't want to play the game constitutionally.
absolutely.
It doesn't matter what side of the aisle people are on in Jeff City. If they do something that is unconstitutional, we will call you out, and we'll let the entire organization know. So there is no safe place for anyone, Republican or Democrat in Missouri, from this organization to hide. If you want to propose legislation, and I'm talking to senators and representatives, if you guys want to propose legislation that does not jive with the Constitution of the United States or the Missouri Constitution, you will be officially called out. And in fact, if you do it big and bad enough, we'll hold a press conference on you. So think very carefully about what you want to do going forward with your legislation, is all I gotta say.
And on the reverse side of that, when you do things right, regardless of party, on an individual basis, on the individual action, you will be given praise.
That's correct. I'm sorry. Thank you for...
And
We
please
can't be all
understand,
negative.
please understand what he said, regardless of party.
Yep, that's correct.
Regardless
This is
of party.
not a partisan issue. There are some things that both parties do right, and there's a lot of things that both parties do wrong.
That's correct.
Yeah.
So we'll call it out. And guys, we're not buddying up with the Republicans. We're not buddying up with the Democrats. We're buddying up with those who believe in the Constitution of the United States and the Missouri Constitution.
We're buddying up with you.
Yeah.
That's the truth.
So that's
More horsepower in numbers.
That's the main goal of this organization. We want to make Missouri, and by the way, we're going to do it too. We're not just saying it. We are going to make Missouri the best, freest state of the entire United States with the most liberties out of any state in the Union, because we will it. We're going to make it happen. People are going to come here from all over the United States if people don't literally start doing what we're doing in their states. They'll come here for that freedom.
And then other states, when you start picking up on what we're doing here and start doing it there, then we got some competition. We got to get more liberty here.
Yeah, we wouldn't mind the competition, by the way.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Spread this far and wide. Steal whatever you want to steal. Use it in whatever state you want to use it. This is all about getting. Well, see, the federal government now thinks they're top dog. The states are second, and the people are lowly third class down here. Originally, the Constitution was the people come first, the states are in the middle, and the feds are last. So,
Because the states, I mean, the federal government is, the Constitution is literally a contract between the states to give selected powers to the federal government to handle. Everything
and the
else
states
is reserved
created
to
the
the
federal
states.
government.
Exactly.
So there you go, folks. In a nutshell, that's what we're trying to accomplish, and we sincerely hope that you will join us in this little adventure, because as far as we know, no one's ever done anything like this before. And to be perfectly honest with you, we're kind of stumbling in the dark a little bit, but that's okay. It certainly beats doing nothing.
Yeah. And once again, we're flying by the seat of our pants, as Jimmy said, trying to how this organization is going to work and what we're going to do. But at the same time, I think we got a really, really good feel for it, thanks to just understanding the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, and having friends, for instance, like the 10th Amendment Center. That'd be Michael Bolden. If you watch this video, shout out to you, man, and thank you for everything you do on your channel. And we should have a lot more people like it. We're coming behind you, man. We're going to catch up to you. For spreading liberty and freedom all over, hopefully, the United States, like you do, sir. So, unless we have any final thoughts,
I'm good to go. I think we've made our message.
I'm good.
thank you again for watching. Thank you guys for joining. Basically, not just the video. We've been doing a lot of meetings and that kind of stuff, and
Till like 4 in the morning.
Yeah, till like
Till like 4 in the morning. Yes.
And we've been doing a little pew pew as well, as you guys have already seen. So we had a little bit of fun here too. That's our independence celebration. But we wish you and your families to have a wonderful celebration, and we hope that you guys think about what Independence Day actually means, what it means for you as an individual, what it means for your state. Please think about that. It's not about fireworks, gang. Not about barbecues, hot dogs, hamburgers.
However wonderful those are.
Yes, however wonderful they are, and especially when, basically you get the whole family together. That's always a treat, isn't it? But Independence Day means so much more. So thank you again for watching. You guys have a wonderful day. May God bless each and every one of you. Take care, gang.
We'll see ya.